first thing I want to talk about is the changes in the rules. The first new rule is that one driver cannot drive for two different teams. This is to stop one driver driving all the cars, or at least multiple, and gaining an advantage. The only exception to this rule is if a driver is unable to drive for that round only. GamerMe stepped in for Sackbot this week, as Sackbot couldn't potentially map and set their own time. However, the time GamerMe set doesn't count for him in the championship, the Drivers' Championship, as that must come from the team that you drive for. The second change in the rules is a rework of the qualifying before your lap to be used rule. So this rule originally stated that to have your lap count in the championships, you needed to come top 10 in 2 out of the 3 of the other remaining categories. To try and stop cars being submitted, it will only focus on lap time for the Drivers' Championship. So this rule has been changed and will be enforced strictly from now on. You must be within 10% of the points scored by the 10th best entrant in both automation categories. Failure to do so results in a 5-second time penalty for each category. So if, for example, if 10th place scored 100 points in the automation market scores category, you must have at least 90, otherwise you will have the 5-second time penalty applied to your time. So to allow for more creativity in the engineering and also by request, the slider values for this round can now be changed, but only between -3 and 3 to stop things getting too crazy at +15 or -15. For the Autocross timed lap, the damage counter UI app must be installed now, and damage of up to and including 1% is allowed for round 2. The link to the UI app is on the Reddit post for round 2, so you can download it there. To try and keep it fair, I'm going to make sure I submit my full entry as early as possible to stop me copying other cars. For round 1, I was third to enter, so want to aim for something like that this week too. If you could hold off sending in your entries until I finish mine, that would be greatly appreciated. So the rules weren't clear enough for round 1, so lots of people had issues with their car not passing safety in Farinia, and that lowered the market scores drastically. So people had to resubmit, and it was a bit of a hassle, and some people didn't have time to resubmit. So just make sure that your car is passing in all countries, because it will be in the first 4 countries, because it's the first 4 countries that are used for the automation market scores to make sure the car is well rounded and we're not just picking one country. But the last country is left off because I believe they don't have premium fuel, 95 octane fuel. So finally, before we get into the results, I wanted to give a shout out to Josh the trucker, who sadly had to drop out due to real life commitments. His car had the second fastest time with Abe Math behind the wheel, who did excellently well to tune the car perfectly and set a blisteringly quick lap of a 1 minute 2 seconds .94. Josh's inline 5 engine was perfectly suited for the track, with high power but also a really nice power curve with high power across the RPM range. So it's sad to see him go. Also wanted to shout out Gemmaray, Mailman and Fireboy, as Gemmaray Mailman managed to recreate an electric car within the game with surprisingly good accuracy. Sadly, however, this made the engine heavy and limited the potential power output of the engine, which made them suffer on the scoring for this round. But I'm sure they'll both manage better in round 2, both as constructor and driver. So now we'll move on to the Constructors' Championship, and we'll go back to front, saving the lap times for last. So first up is the Aesthetics Podium. So the scoring for the voting was such that any first place votes got you 5 points, second place got you 3 points, and third place 1 point. So in third place is myself with a score of 20. I'm glad you liked my entry, and I thought the shark fin would be hit or miss, but it seems like enough of you thought it was alright and acceptable in the car. So the shark fin's actually a part of a car I've been experimenting in real life with a gullwing door engine bay to try and solve the problem of mid-engine cars being hard to work on and tinker on and being expensive to get parts changed. So second place goes to Exige B58 with a score of 22. Personally, I love the convertible fixture mod they've used here, and it's an awesome photo of the car too with the sun set. But the winner, with a big score of 33, and far ahead of the rest of the field, is Welcome to Cotskull LU with the Ultra Tika Xanthi. So here's a couple pictures of the Xanthi. The front styling of the car looks really nice. The headlines in that piece across the front, in my opinion, looks great. There's loads of side vents which just look bonkers, but in a good way. And the rear of the car is exceptionally detailed too. A deserved winner of the aesthetics category. So next, we'll move on to the individual winners for the automation in-game scores. So I fared pretty well in the drivability and sportiness scores, claiming top spot for both, which I'm very happy with. And the most fuel economic car goes to Smoon Smithy, with a huge score of 70.6 miles per gallon. So well done on that very, very fuel economic sports car. So here's the podium for the automation in-game scores. Third place goes to Exige B58's NMA E1 with an average score of 60.2 across the three categories. The runner-up spot goes to Serbin's, I hope I'm saying that right, Gano Gadget S3XT, which just beat out the NMA E1 to the runner-up spot with a score of 60.8. And the winner of the automation in-game scores goes to Smoon Smithy in the Usagi 2.0 Supersport. An amazing average of 69.4, with both drivability and fuel economy being above 70. A link to his .car file will be in the description so you can see how he managed to score so well. So, despite me winning 2 out of 3 of the categories, I just missed out on the podium due to my low miles per gallon, which is surprising because when I entered, I thought I'd scored fairly well in that aspect, but clearly not. So the next category is the automation market scores, which I purposefully built my car to be strong in, and it definitely paid off for me, with me winning 3 out of 4 of the categories. But well done to a supporting T for a very high score of 182.7 in the convertible sport budget category. Not many people chose to build convertibles, but according to automation, the C222 Cup Sport would be top of people's list wanting a cheap convertible sports car. So this category was scored using the top 3 values of the 4 categories, so you could ignore one and focus on the rest. Third place, with an average of 144.4, went to a supporting T Seniero Racing C222 Cup Sport. Second place went to the familiar name of Smoon Smithy. That car once again showing its strength in the automation game world, with an average of 144.8, just beating the Seniero. But in the end, my focus on this category meant that I managed to top it with my Thistle AX200, with an average score of 167.6. I've left a link to my .car file in the description too, so you can see how I got the high scores I did. Be careful, though, if you're playing around with it. It does seem to be on a knife edge for a lot of the settings, and going up or down one click in various different places sometimes makes the scores jump down quite a margin. So on to the lap time podium, which I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Third place, with a lap time of 1 minute 3.7 seconds, is once again Smoon Smithy's Usagi 2.0 Supersport. Good automation scores and also fast around the track. Second fastest of the constructors was GamerMe's Mikado Supersport Mark III, with a time of 1 minute 3.1 seconds. But the winner of round 1 Autocross lap time goes to Oliver the Hovervan, with a time of 1 minute 2.7 seconds, which GamerMe managed filling in for Oliver the Hovervan this round. So here is GamerMe's amazing lap in Sackbot's Montagna Bianco Girino. So for the first corner here, keeping a little bit of the throttle all the way through, as you can see in the bottom left. This left hand corner here, making sure you're taking nice and a lot of speed through there. Get as close to that wall there on the left, so you can take a wide line through that corner. Get on the power early. This one, making sure you get between the wall and the shipping container on either side. Nice and early on the power through that corner there again. Coming up to the hairpin here, touch on the brakes, we're getting right back on the accelerator, and you can see just glancing over that curb there using all of the available track. Coming up to the tight hairpin, touch of the handbrake to make sure the car gets rotated round. And this is a very tricky left-hander as it's downhill. Brakes nice and early and making sure it gets as close to that wall on the left as possible. Coming up for the last corner, taking a nice wide line through there to make sure the run to the finish line is as straight as possible. So here's the Constructors' Podium from round 1. In third place, on 47 points, we have the NMA E1 by Exige B58. 2 podiums out of 4 is excellent and well deserved in that third place. Second place, with 62 points, we have Smoon Smithies 2.0 Supersport. A first, second and a third place finish over the 4 different categories is very impressive for this little car. Although, in first place with 64 points is my own Thistle AX200. Cue the "this competition is rigged" comments and stuff like that. But focusing on the automation scores really paid off for me, as that is 2 out of the 4 categories, so half of the competition. And I'm glad the high scores managed to translate to a fairly quick lap too. Like I said earlier, the .car file and my lap should be in the description, so you can check that I haven't cheated. And a special thanks to Extrodius for this awesome meme when I mentioned I scored well in my own challenge. Guess it's up to everyone else to try and beat me in round 2. So, this leaves us with the table for the Constructors' Championship at the end of round 1. So congratulations to everyone for their entries. There were some awesome looking cars, some really quick cars, some high scoring automation cars, and a few really cool quirky cars that I was very impressed with. There's going to be at least 4 rounds in this championship, maybe more depending on how it goes and what people think, so there's still a long way to go for everyone to fight for the top place at the end. And here's the table, which will be updated every week. If you want your team name or colour changed, just let me know and I'll get that sorted for round 2. So here is the driver's podium. So now we'll move on to the Drivers' Championship, which only looks at the Autocross lap time. And here is the Drivers' Podium. So despite me having the 5th quickest lap that was submitted, I managed to cheese my way onto the podium as Josh the Trucker dropped out and Gamer Me had the 2 fastest times. My lap of a 1 minute 3.834 seconds was just beaten by Smoon Smithy by just 0.142 seconds. But the winner, as you already know, is Gamer Me, with 2 times managing to top the leaderboard from him. He is the guy to beat. His time in his own car of a 1 minute and 3 seconds .1 is this week's Driver Championship winner. So here is the full driver standings after round 1. I look forward to seeing some new faces appear for round 2, as it's not the laptop or PC killing Italy map that will be being used. And here is the championship table that will be updated every week. Again, if you want your name changed or the team name changed or the team colour changed, just let me know and I will get that sorted for round 2. So thank you all for watching. I hope everyone has enjoyed the budget mid-engine sports car round. There were some worthy successors to the MR2 in the pile. The links to the files are in the description, and feel free to have a play around with them in Automation and Beam. If anyone wants any feedback about where they could improve, whether that be on lap time, automation scores or aesthetics, please ask me and I'll see if I can help or find the right person to help you improve. And that's the end of round 1. The following slides are just a quick guide on the trim, variant and model years for round 2, so if anyone wasn't 100% sure or just wanted to double check, feel free to stick around and I'll try and clarify them as best as I can. But if not, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed round 1. So the car's model year for round 2 must be between 1997 and 2000. This is the year the car's basic family model was released. So 1997 was the new World Rally Championship rules, which is why this year was chosen. In the top left, when you're selecting your body, make sure that the year is within these values. Also make sure the body type is hatchback, sedan or wagon too. Once you've finished your engine, you will be able to select the trim year of the car. This is the year that this specific sporty trim will be released. So this year must be set to 2001, as your company has just won the World Rally Championship title this year and this car is coming out at the end of the year. The engine must also be built at the same time as the car, so the family and variant engines for both must be set to 2001. And overall, if you've done this right, in the automation sandbox, where you can see a list of all the cars you've made, it should say the complete year of 2001, as that is the latest part of the car. So, and that's what it takes the year from. So thank you very much for watching this little segment, and I hope this has cleared up any questions anyone has had.